Non nou ka konsipe moun epi. Pou nou konet pou men yo te pou nou tout sa benefis. For only wonders you done for us all, spreading the culture all over the world. For only good thing that you done for God, that's what it is. We thanking you. We thanking you, brother. Trip. Achalo mundi sou casa ki chale yo pwen we vesi. Bo nou konet kwaye yo akuma smaka das music. God the hand that some bricks try William say yo. Vivian Wall is excited one group of chef Joe. Yo passe tout le voyage musique nous. Mais attends jodi, je ne te que la che. Si pas te wadix qui ka poussé. For only wonders you done for us all, spreading the culture all over the world. For all the good things that you done for God, that's what it is. We thanking you. We thanking you, brother.
Kenya, Dominica, good morning, Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to another Creole Heartbeat program on the big station QFM. And we have a powerhouse, we have legends of the game of basketball as we continue to really showcase some of those who really excelled in the various sporting disciplines in Dominica. It has been, our mission here to collaborate in what QFM has been doing with the heroes to really come in a different environment and really salute some of those who really spend loads and loads of their time, sacrifices for the natural in several areas of development in Dominica, in particular sports. And today we have a heavyweight champion basketball trio. And they go by the name of Fanso Bedu, formerly of Flames. We have Irvin Tosh Williams, formerly of Cardinals, and we have Jimbo, formerly of Clouds. As we say, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome. Go get closer to the mic, Jimbo. Good morning. Good morning. Bonjour. Good morning, fellas.
Love, respect to Alex. Good morning.
Good morning, Tosh.
Yes, good morning, Alex, and good morning to all your listeners.
And good morning, Fanso Bedo.
Good morning, Wadix, and good morning to the listeners out there.
Okay, we'll take the first stop. We'll first of all allow you to actually tell the listeners how that basketball skill, how was it developed, how it actually started, where it started, how it started. Let's start with Bedo first.
Well, basketball skill started with me through Wilmer Flibler. One of the greatest coach I ever had, and he really wanted the best out of for me, and also I'm still thankful to him. I'm grateful to him.
Okay, at what age you started to play basketball?
Well, I really started at the age of 14 playing basketball.
In as much basketball was not really one of the most prevalent sport in Dominica, it was more cricket and football traditionally. Why you chose basketball?
Well, it was closer to me because I was living in Fields Lane and basketball was played in SMA, and I was more privileged to play basketball, go up there and play basketball.
So the early years, you actually practiced at the St. Mary's Academy?
Yeah.
What about you, Tosh?
Boy, it's a long story.
Let's go with it. Let's go with it.
I started very early. I mean, primary school days. And it was more or less by default. I mean, I had a brother who was involved in basketball and probably a good basketball player. So that itself was a motivation for me to get into the game.
Who was that? Was that brother Cuthbert?
Cuthbert Williams.
Cuthbert.
We also had, where I lived, I was neighbor to Franklin, the Freeman. They call him Bobette. He was a very good basketballer. And his style, we used to look at him play. And myself and a couple of his relatives, in fact, his brothers, that gave us a little motivation to play basketball. So we really started playing in Bobbett's veranda and drawing two squares on either end of the porch, and we started playing basketball there.
And then from there, you would have attended the Dominica Grammar School.
Yeah, I attended the Dominica Grammar School. When I started, basketball was nothing that we really played at school. So I really played in the Windsor Park. There I really got all my skills and learned a lot in basketball.
Absolutely. What about you, Jimbo?
Yeah, well, I started, okay. I want to say happy birthday to Marcia, sexy Marcia in Goto.
Wow. That's a lady, Jimbo?
No.
Okay.
Marcia, gone rather on radio, on whatever, yeah. So happy birthday, I wish you the best and long life.
Mm-hmm.
Now I started in Goodwill School, through Lenny Xavier. Lenny Xavier came a time saying he come to train and thing, but then all that time I was playing football, but then I just generate and move to the basketball. So when Lenny see what I doing, but I was training all in Goodwill at that time, I used to be training running on the 114 steps they had. So I used to be working out and thing. So when Lenny see me, Lenny say, boy, Graham, you'll go far and just keep it up and do that. Now, I have to give enough thanks to Kevin Stevenson, Tilly, big up to them, Wackers, all them man, Coxie Maglo. Well, they had a little problem with Coxie coming onto clouds, but we'll get to that another time. So it's from there when it start from the good school. Then when he's having root me up and have me going good, or he, Tosh, is to really advise me and, give me good little respect and thing. Van, so I said, trouble him and thing, and, But,
You would look up to Tosh.
yeah, man. But from Tosh, I see. Of course, I look up to Tosh, but me and Tosh play for Dominica together.
Absolutely. We'll get to that in a little while. We'll get to the national level. But Bedo, you, Rosoman, Windsor Park was the place then. And you were fortunate. The only team you played for was Flames? Was that the only team you played?
My first team was Rosso Concord.
Rosso Concord?
Yeah.
That was a first or second division?
First division, there was only two divisions, first and second, but it was a first division team. We felt like Carla Ellen, George Daniel, Adolphus David, and Arlington James and these guys. We had a team.
And basically around town?
Around town, yeah. The basketball was mostly around town. The only team was out of town was pros from Granby. And in those days, they were battle pros.
And then at what point you left and you actually joined Flames?
Well, when the guys in the lane see me playing basketball, all of them came in. It was like Oliver Burton, Lenny Bernard, all the Bernard brothers. And then we were roping some other guys, like Augustus Harris and them guys. And the first year they came out, I didn't play with them. I encouraged them to get a team. I helped them to get sponsor. And then when the time was right, I joined them. I come over and with them.
Was that sponsored by Trini? Not yet. It wasn't by Trini.
Yeah, it was
by Trini Flames.
No, it was White House Flames first.
Okay.
It was White House Flames first. Because ACS was sponsoring the team at the time. And then by Trini came in after. Still by Trini for a long time, and then we moved to Continental Flames, and then we went back to by Trini Flames. Then
who was the proprietor of By Trini then?
It was Yusuf and Norris Prevost.
Norris Prevost.
Yeah.
That's the present, the former, parliament for the city.
Yeah.
Norris Prevost. And that was the place just across.
Well, if I can say Royal so much people would know that. Was just across the Latinx home there.
Yes. Just across France there, the corner. I think there used to be a photo shop.
But before that, there was the Royal Saloon.
The Royal Saloon.
A bar.
There was a bar.
You would know that.
But then By Trini normally would have, been promoting quite a bit of local garments.
Garments, yeah.
I think Mr. Gregoire would be also very familiar. Sheridan Gregoire would be familiar with that organization.
Yeah. And Yusuf Nassif, the guy by training.
By training. Okay, by the way, we are live on Facebook and we are live on the QFM Facebook page in case you want to view some of the legends. What we're trying to do basically is to big them up for their sacrifices, for their commitment, their dedication, and pride they shown during their playing days for Dominica, for actually the various teams. Basketball was on a different level. You, Tosh, you would have joined the Cardinals after school.
Yes.
And the Cardinals would have been one of the I mean, in terms of talent, one of the most talented teams. How was it, for you as, let's say, a youngster playing alongside guys like Kiwi and Plastic and Pembo?
Okay. When I started, maybe Kiwi wasn't there yet because Kiwi may have been out of Dominica during his studies. I'd been playing college basketball. But I met, in fact, I was still at grammar school. And Wilmer Flibla was the coach where he invited me to come play on the team. Now, Cardinals was a team we used to look up to. I mean, as most of the young people in Goodwill, we used to look at them play and were fascinated by the way some of them played. We had our fans on Cardinals. So when they invited me to come to a meeting so that I could play for the team, I think it was quite astonishing because at the time my brother played for the team, and I was saying, boy, me and those big fellas there. As a little boy, I was still at school, grammar school. But anyway, I took up the challenge. I went to play, and surprisingly, when the first game I went to play for Cardinals, the coach, Willie Lebla, put me to start on the starting five, which I find was so strange, knowing all the good players there. And he put me to play on the starting five. I had a good game according to them, and from there it just took off.
Can you recall that starting five, that particular starting five?
Get that
the starting five. Can you recall the starting five then? Was Mickey part of that?
No,
not
Mickey,
yet.
No, Mickey wasn't there yet. But it was people like Charles Roberts. But in fact, it was seasoned players who
that actually played for the national team also.
Yeah, they played for the national team and were there at the time for a good time.
Yeah,
So,
Hola, yes.
These were the people already playing there, and I just joined them maybe as a little boy and then just continue.
Well, what was the experience? I mean, yes, you were intimidated at first, but then, I mean, these guys were seasoned veterans, national players. I mean, possibly the finest in Dominica. How you felt? What was the experience like?
I wouldn't want to say it was intimidating. It was more or less like a surprise to be among the same people you have been looking at all the
your heroes, your basketball heroes.
My basketball heroes. But it was something maybe unexpected, but I think Will Libra was the coach at the time, saw something in me. And I felt that at the time, maybe playing with most of the veterans or people who I looked up to, I fitted in quite nicely. And there was no regrets because I look at the different players at the time. I mean, there were a number of good players on all teams. They had very good competitive teams. When Cardinals was a very good team, but when Cardinals played, it still wasn't just a walkover. I mean, there's competition, and I mean, I joined the competition, and I just felt that was something maybe I just can't really forget.
Absolutely. But you, Jimbo, Clouds came in a little later after. Get closer to the mic.
Hold on, before I continue with the Clouds.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
He said no, like when he came in to Cardinals, he was tough. He was really tough, right? It was a jump. It was tough to beat with the nice. With the Clouds. The Clouds formed with Tilly Stinky. We had a little problem, in terms of thing because I always training. I as a man that forced them to have that clause. Brooks Bell, Egbert Charles, all of us was together to thing. But at the end of the day, now we wanted Coxie Maglo. Or Coxie Maglo was with them. I don't know if at the time when Tosh was there, Coxie. So we wanted Coxie to join us to leave Cardinals at the time. But Coxie decided no.
Staying with Cardinals.
Yeah. So I said no. We just training. We used to train on the 114 steps every day. We running, Kirvin Stevenson, Tilly, Wackers, them man was good man to us. So I decided now I go in my team. I go as captain for Clouds and intermediates. And I play a lot of team like Granby. You had different teams until I win a championship in the intermediates, and then I go to the Premier.
Fellas like Bo Banis and Egbert Charles and
Brooks
Brown.
Bell, Brown, Charlo, his underpants was falling on him, and different, like
Burgers
Len
also,
Shillingford is part
Lenny
of it.
Shillingford was also part of that team.
Well, you call you Egbert Charles.
But then you guys were primarily based in the Goodwill area, lower and basically upper Goodwill.
Yeah, well, all our players was from Goodwill. Charlo was from Politan, still Goodwill. Leslie was from Central. That was it, man. We just had all our players all around here, nobody outside. It's after when we start breaking up, it's bring one to man from Granby, one to different man.
Yes, Bedu. During those days, basketball was on a high. Windsor Park was the place to be. You would have football all day, and then in the night, it was basketball. Basketball took over. There were, like Tosh said a while ago, there were several, great or formidable teams. Quite a bit of players there. I think there was Wizards, also Batter Pros. I remember quite a bit of talented players out there. What was during the normal league? What was it like for Flames? Flames was my team, by the way. I used to love Neckers. Neckers on the baseline shooting, man. Let me tell you.
Well, in those days, Flames, it was always Flames, Cardinals, and Pros.
And Pros from South City Granby.
Yeah, them three teams. In my time, when we played the big basketball, it was Flames, Cardinals, and Pros. And it was a pleasure when I get a chance to beat Cardinals. Like when I hold Cardinals, when would I just go and they bring Leslie Emmanuel, take my foot.
You played center, Bidu. Center and power forward.
Yeah, that's my position. And then we used to enjoy it. And the other thing is, but mark you, I was remember the Cardinals still on tour, So I used to take my foot on Cardinals whenever I get my chance in Dominica. And like I tell you, plastic teach us everything. So we learn the ropes through plastic, so we learn how to beat him.
So while Plastic was the national coach, coaching you guys nationally, he was also the coach of Cardinals.
Yeah.
So you got the technique to beat Cardinals from Plastic.
Whatever you teach me, I will pass it on to the boys.
Interesting Tosh. Very interesting philosophy there, my Bedu. Because Wilmoth, Leblanc, Plastic was very instrumental in teaching, on mentoring, lots of players.
What Plastic was basically doing, he was teaching us the fundamental of basketball.
Yeah.
And that was the most important part. He really took his time and teach it to us. And like I always say, I'll go to my grave with that, there's no teacher like Plastic in basketball. He really, he couldn't command respect because he figured he was everybody's friend. But he was a real good teacher of basketball. He would push us, drill us and ask us to do certain things. Like when I watch it, when I have national practice, I wouldn't wait when the national practice was going to do things. I would take on my own and do my own things. And that's why I last so long on the national team.
I think I'm to ask Bedo a question.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. You can ask Bedo a question. You are the legend.
Yes.
Okay, you give Plastic all his respect, all right? But you play the OECS.
Yeah.
You play with New Island with him coaching you.
No, remember the OECS down here.
I said you play OECS with him as the coach. You didn't play 84 OECS tournament.
No,
he missed the play. He that one Tosh. He played.
I could basketball by then.
Nice. What championship you win under him?
Windward Island Championship.
That's Dominica won the Windward Island.
In what year?
I think there's two Windward Island Championship. One in St. Lucia and one in Dominica.
Tosh was there.
We won in 76 in Jamaica.
No,
Touch was
man.
Let us take it in chronological order.
Because
Pedro, while you were there, you won 2 championships with Plastic as the coach. And can you recall the years?
in 1976, we won the Wimbledon Championship. It's one I won with him. We won the championship in 1976.
Right here in Dominica.
In Dominica. With Plastic. Touch brother, please.
That's Cuthbert Williams.
That's Cuthbert Williams. I played together with Cuthbert too. I played with Touch, I played with Cuthbert.
But Cuthbert is also a multi-talented sportsman. He also played cricket. He also played football. Touch, what was it like, playing with Plastic as the coach, Cardinals team? When you actually, during the league, it was something else. Cardinals was basically the team to beat.
Yeah.
I would have seen certain games where other teams playing other teams. And relatively, the standard wasn't as whenever they meet Cardinals team.
When they meet Cardinals, they buckle in.
Yes.
Yeah, let me say that again. The Cardinals team I met when I came on Clouds, Tosh was captain. And it was tough. I used to go 38, 39. I can't beat them in. That Cardinals. Look him there. I cannot beat that.
You couldn't beat Cardinals.
I couldn't beat the great Cardinals.
What was it about Cardinals, Tosh? What was it about Cardinals?
Well, the chemistry they had, they was as one man. They go together. You see, Clouds? Like certain man that's getting so,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see,
get emotional and aggressive. Yeah.
But look,
Tosh, what was the formula during those days? Because
Cardinals,
you guys were almost unbeatable.
Yeah, Cardinals. Well, we had good players, but if you don't train, you can't really perform.
Even if you have good players.
So, we had good players, we had a good coach. And the training was probably different from most of the other teams because we had teams getting allocated time to use the court.
Yeah.
When we come, we do organized training because we had a very good coach. We did drills, we did shooting drills. There will be time we come and maybe don't really play a basketball scrimmage. No, we did a lot of that. And most of the players now, besides the organized training, did their work other than that. And it was a together team. After every weekend game, it's a social. We meet, we talk about the basketball, and that was how it went throughout the time that we played. Now, we looked at other teams, and we know exactly what other teams did. So the coach had his plan, his strategy, and we know what we had to do to prevent that team from beating us. So we used to come well prepared. When we played, we know we had to be there at a particular time. We used to come, we sit on the stand because most times we play the second game or first game before, and you have all players there prior to maybe starting the game. So when we go on the court, as soon as maybe the first game finished, we go on the court and we start our drills. So we used to really prepare ourselves, psych up ourselves for the game, and that's why we had some good performances from the team and from the players.
What was the mentality like in a Cardinals camp? And the reason why I am asking that is because for some reason, teams would have you, Flames in particular, at one point in time, or even clubs would have you guys on the wall. But somewhere along the line, you would find a way to come back and win. What was the mentality like?
And the thing is that on a winning team, you just tell yourself that you have to win. And even though we are down, everybody puts the effort to make sure that we win. We had certain plays at certain times. If the coach decided, okay, you're going to run this play to get maybe Bunji into the game because there is a mismatch with Bunji. And then we did exactly what the coach wanted us to do. And you see that in training, we actually practice certain drills, certain plays. So the ball has to go left, the ball has to go right, the ball has to go that this at a particular time. We did a lot of that. And we used to get most of that probably with the national team. But other teams now never really used to have any kind of a set play to say, well, they had a coach, because most of them didn't have a really official coach. Some of their main players did the coaching, so that's the thing that made us stand out among other teams. We had a a very good coach.
What about all your clouds?
No,
I know Egbert Charles at one point in time did some
I
coaching.
going back to him. Irvin Williams, he said that his team was very organized. All right, he don't like
The system. Yeah.
assistant, the whole system. Okay, they practice, they organize themselves. When Jim won got against them, they triple teaming me, double teaming me.
Well, it's their strategy, Jimbo.
So he will write what he's saying there. The program, I'll come out with 20 something points, 30 points. Yes, but the others will score in.
Well, because they would agree you would score all your you would be the scorer, but they would hold on. See, I guess the strategy then was okay. Jimbo would score. It's like as a guy for I think he's now playing for Dallas. Kyrie will score. All you have to score, but that the rest of the team will not score.
Well,
So that possibly could have been the strategy then.
What excites to cross river to play them Cardinals? When I hear them, I get in sick because that team dominating, and I want to beat them.
That is the team we wanted to beat. You were motivated to beat Cardinals.
When I come,
the team to beat.
Well, in terms of practices, Jimbo, Goodwill, who were responsible? Who was the person responsible? Or there a team of different people responsible for your practices?
Well, our practices, I was involved in terms of saying, okay, like we
the drills, like we talk about.
Eggy Charles was in the drill business, but the running up, we used to run up from the back road. Come back down and hit the steps, the 114 steps, and that has make me good. But while we finish, I doing my own thing,
Because you see, one of the critical things that we have been getting from the legends, which is critical, the extra work. Tosh, those days we find players just come and play the game.
Sweat.
And yes, they work on the national team and that's about it. But then every individual was responsible for their personal fitness.
I was king of that, me.
And that is why I say I mean this was a hallmark for the success then. The physical presence, you were physically fit. In terms of teams against other teams, the inter-rivalry, because the Flames and the Cardinals game, my brother, this was like as if it was a national team playing Grenada, or you know what I mean.
When you look at it, Flames have 4 players in the national team or 5. Cardinals have 6.
Yes,
and
it was besides you and Neckers, Calty was also on the national team. That's Carlton Bernard. Who else?
Lewis.
Yes, Moses Lewis.
Lenny Bernard played for the national team.
Lenny Bernard also played for the national team.
We had Franklin Freeman.
Yes.
Bobette.
Bobette was a wizard boy.
We had Lennox Rock also.
Lennox Rock also played for Cardinals, for Flames,
But
then hold on a while, Cardinals, their whole started 5.
We had Julie Francis.
Yes, before he played Dubai, that's before he played for Wizards. But then Cardinal whole front line was on the national team, the whole first 5.
You had Clem John Baptist playing for Cardinals. You had Wola Knight. You had Charles Roberts. You had Touch himself. You had Mickey Joseph. You had
And then what was very good with Cardinals is how when the older players kind of left,
they were roping
people like Didi came in and Irvin McIntyre came in. Bobby Shaw, even Bunji.
Forget Irvin McIntyre.
Irvin McIntyre, yes, and then even Brian Francis, Foxy. These guys would come along. You wanted to say something, Jimbo?
Yeah, but you bring up the name. Irvin McIntyre was a jab,
Yeah, man.
Jungle under the board. He was very good.
Very good under the board.
Yeah, let me tell you that when you catch it, if you do shuffling proper, he eat you.
Two players I said are strong under the board. Irvin McIntyre and this is George Andrew. George Andrew was 2 devils under the board. George Andrew.
Another thing on who is here, who under the board.
Beto, can you recall your most memorable? We're talking about local league now. We go to national in a while. Your most memorable game where you felt you dominated as a big man?
Well, against Heineken Pros.
Yeah.
Were
the more brothers there then?
It wasn't more brothers at the time. Lambert
Henderson. The late Lambert Henderson.
And Homo Bellot.
Pierre Charles. Late Pierre Charles was there also.
Pierre Charles and the Sellers, and the Sentile brothers. Perez and Zairo Sentile. Them guys, they were forced to be reckoned.
And what happened in that game? Tell us about the game.
Well, we played a game against them one night and going to double overtime 3 times, and then we ended up winning them by 1 point. That was the game of my night.
And you stood out.
Yeah, but not me alone. Neckers was really take us take us home, because Neckers just give Neckers the ball on the outside, and once he gets one little dribble and he up, there's no you can stop him.
This Neckers, if I ever had to have a basketball idol, it was Neckers. Yeah. On the baseline, I mean, nothing could meet Neckers on the baseline. What about you, Jimbo? We'll get a touch in a while. Any memorable game that really stand out?
I want to come back to Neckers. Okay, fans. Okay, you have him. Yeah, Neckers was a very great shooter. But in 1984, 85, just to refresh my memory, the Antigua came down here. Okay? They came down with Andy Christian, the Harris, the big men, tough team. And they shut off Neckers. Because Neckers do drive in. Fans who talk about that. They shut off Neckers. Neckers never scored nothing against Antigua.
They block out
we lose that championship.
But
yes or no?
Andy Christian them.
They shut off Neckers.
Well, what he's saying is they shut off Neckers.
Man on Neckers. Neckers never should touch us handling good driving. Look him there.
No, well, you see, the thing is, a shooter might have a bad day, and I think that was a bad day or bad night for Neckers. Maybe had a few shots that probably didn't fall.
By the way, for those who wondering who is Neckers, is Oliver Burton.
Oliver Burton,
former comptroller of customs before Irving Tosh Williams. We'll get to the phone in a while, but we're just waiting to just kind of set the foundation, right? Because I want you were talking about that particular game, Tosh.
Just a correction is inland revenue.
Inland revenue, sorry, not customs. Inland revenue,
Inland revenue. I think it was just a bad night. Probably a few shots didn't fall, and probably after you maybe shoot maybe too many at one time. Maybe it just didn't happen that night. But he was one of the best shooters I've seen.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of training can maybe have somebody on the up or on the high, but it was a natural ability with keyboard. The shooting, he would just shoot, and I know he used to train a lot. I mean, we used to come to the Windsor Park maybe when most of the guys not there, because by 4:00, maybe everybody in Roseau comes to the Windsor Park to play basketball. So when the sun is hot, you come there, and at that time the surface of the court used to really pull a heat. Yeah. And I remember keyboard putting things like cardboard on the thing, and he would just shoot. I mean, to get your rhythm, you have to shoot a certain number of basketballs.
I can add something to that. We live together, right? We used to stay together, because he's my first cousin, and we're the same hoop. Because his mother died when he was young, and both had the same grandmother. And Neckers used to sit on a table with a tennis ball, an egg ball, with a glass of water, and just eating, and just flicking the ball in the glass of water like that. And he used to take his game serious.
Okay. Yes, we'll open the lines, but then we can call and actually big up the legends and ask any question if you like. We are here with the kind compliments of Digicel. The telephone numbers again. Let's give them the telephone numbers.
The telephone numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. If you're calling from a Digicel phone, 616-4257. And if you're calling from overseas, 305-432-9624.
Okay, I think we have our first caller for Bedu, Neckers, and Jimbo. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat.
Alex.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alex. What's up, man? What's up, Alex?
Yes. Good morning.
The legends, Panso, Bedu, Etienne, Tosh, and Jimbo.
Yes.
You know who's calling, Alex?
I can't pick up the voice.
Tilling.
Tilling, oh Tilling.
Marcellus
Tilling
Lee.
also Marcellus Lee. yes,
But I had to get it early. I had to
yes.
get it early. I had to get it early because last week I had a struggle, but those guys, they were, I could relate to them three guys.
Absolutely.
Right?
You not doing anything?
No.
Okay. Okay. I think yes.
No.
Here we are now. Okay. Then now we are in you, Tilling. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I said that I could relate to them three guys.
Mm-hmm.
Last week it was a struggle to get him back early this time. I relate to them three guys. Tosh, well, number one, Tosh was my captain at grammar school in 1974 when he started, and I remember that we beat Kensborough in the final. Right, Tosh?
True.
And we played, and in 1976 tournament, we played every night before the big game. The 76 tournament, that was when Dominica won at home. I mean, I know you just spoke about Neckers. Neckers, to me, as a young player, and even all now, I still say it, and I'm subject to correction, but Neckers was one of the best shooters in the Windward Islands.
I believe so.
The only shooter who could come at was on par with Neckers was Gordon Redhead of Grenada.
Yeah.
But Neckers, Oliver Burton, was the best. I mean, there's no if, no but, no maybe. I mean, I know he had a little follow me because I remember on some program on Sports Vibes, he mentioned that I was the one to make him play basketball, which is unfortunate, but I mean, I don't hold that against him. But Neckers was the best when it comes to shooting. As I said, the only player not ahead of, comparable to Neckers was Gordon Redhead of Grenada, and that year we shut down Grenada in the final. That's 1976. Oh, sorry. And 17 years after, we did the same thing at Windsor Park with William Jimbo Graham. Right, Jimbo?
Jimbo, you can recall that?
Yeah, man.
I mean, 93 championship, yeah. We won
93 championship, yeah.
Yeah, 1993. But Fanso was the man, the elbow man. That's the body, they call it the elbow, when you get the elbow from Fanso. But, I mean, them guys were, I mean, in terms of basketball, and Tosh mentioned the Cardinals was, But there were some things that came after. I know maybe the slip and the program is early. But I can talk about J.K. Eagles, number one.
Yeah, J.K. Eagles, yes.
Which I was the captain of the team. We were a powerhouse because when we came on, we caused problems in Windsor Park.
Back to sponsored by John Keller.
You're right. And Didi was part of the setup to Lenny Bobori.
Yes.
Which is another of our stalwart players. Lenny made the Winter Islands team.
Yes.
But going back to the earlier guys, the 1976 team was a powerhouse.
Yes.
That year, when it beat Grenada in the finals, Windsor Park, all those years. Henry Shillingford, I don't know much people remember Henry Shillingford.
As a lawyer.
Yeah, Henry was a wizard. You had Zoobs, I know Francis didn't mention Zoobs was part of Flames. All these guys were on the team, the winners, Charles Roberts and so. So we had some great players going back there. Tosh himself was what they call the midfield general.
Control the point guard.
He started from grammar school, and I said we had a good team. Tina was our first coach, Allington James. And then later on, Ozzy Savre stepped in after he came from England. But in terms of going back to the basketball all over the years, I mean, we had some great teams. Cardinals had great players, but they stopped a lot of younger teams. But then we started to match up against Cardinals. And the reason for that, and Tosh mentioned it earlier on, the practice. But we used to train a lot. That was the hallmark. And I mean, nowadays when you look at the game, guys don't. I mean, I hear people talk about they have great players. We have better players now. I don't know where they see them. Because just like the football, you hear people talk about, we are the better players now. Tosh is that Tosh for national team to a footballer. I don't remember that one.
Of course, I remember. Tosh was playing for Sins.
Yeah.
Myself and Tosh play for Sins together.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we had a lot of great players back then. Now you have to talk about these great players. But come back to William Jimbo Graham, that 1993 team. We had a good in Guinea. I mean, apart from Neckers after Neckers, and so I could rank in Guinea.
Yes, Guinea.
Yes. Top shooters. Because he's so, in terms of practice. But I still go back to Neckers. I said Neckers was one of the best we had even in the Windward Islands.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tilling. We have a few more callers that we want to take in. We want to big up the brothers today. So thank you very much for your historic aspect here. And may God bless you, my brother. More calls coming from for Bedo, Jimbo, and Tosh. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat.
Hey, great show, guys.
Thank you very much.
I want to say
I want to say I played against all the three guys in there.
All right.
Panso Flames, I played against Toshak and Jimbo. I started playing in the Winter Park before Jimbo. At age 16, I played first division and I played for SMA. Panso, you might remember me, Jerry Dorset.
Oh, of course, man. Jerry Dorset.
I played all those guys, and I also played for her. I was part of the first ever slam dunk champ ever held in Dominica. It was won by Lester Michel. I hope all you remember that.
Yeah, Lester Michel from Pottersville.
And there's a record no one has broken yet by Mr. Claude, what's his name? Williams. He played with Jimbo. He had 9 3-pointers in a game. No one broke that yet. Great show, guys. I'm listening.
Okay, thank you very much. As we continue to salute. Yes, that's Graham. I think he used to live just opposite. Yeah, man. Lester Michel from Pottersville. Okay, another Cardinals player. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat, Tosh, Abedu, and Jimbo in the building. Okay, you could call us again. And by the way, Tosh, how were you able, to blend, to fuse, to balance your academics with the sports? You played football also, but then here it is, you actually maintained your academics and until you reached as the controller of inland revenue. And for our young aspiring sportsmen, how important it is. Let's make them know how important it is to actually maintain your education and also continue to play your sports.
Yeah. When you're involved in a number of things, you have to have your plan, you have to have your program, and decide exactly how you're going to treat everything, which one you're going to give priority. Now, I was really involved in football and basketball. I played a lot. Although I played some cricket in grammar school in my early days, and that's what I wanted to be, a cricketer. I really wanted to be a cricketer, but a couple of things let me leave that one out. Now, what happened on a regular day? You go to school, after school, the school even had sports programs.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure you do your homework and do whatever assignment. So the thing with us, as soon as we left school and get home, because you leave school at 1:00, you go straight into your homework. Yeah, straight into your assignment so you can get as much time as possible to really play whatever sports you have to play. And that's how it was for me on a steady basis. Late in the night, you would have to do studies, stay up late because during the afternoon you want to make sure you're on the football field or on the basketball court. So that was how it went for me almost every day. And just have to allocate your time to certain things and know how you develop yourself, because when time for exams, you don't want to fail. You have to put a lot of time into your studies. But the practices, they were there. You also went on the field, on the court. And the thing with me, I played football and basketball, and sometimes I play a football match in the afternoon. Organized football match for my club, Sins, and in the night I have to go and play for Cardinals.
Wow!
So you have a lot of things to do to balance your time and ensure that you do what you have to do to come out good.
National and basketball guys, you all represented Dominica. Beto, for how long you represented Dominica?
I played for Dominica for 17 long years.
17?
Yeah.
Wow. As a big man, first team, first 5?
Well,
most of it?
In the early days, I was on the first 5. But after
Okay.
that, I used to come in and they had me as the hatchman towards the end.
According to Jimbo, according to Tilling the elbow van. More calls coming in. We'll ask Jimbo and Tosh about their national experience now. More calls coming in. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat.
Hey, Creole Heartbeat, what is you so smart of the instance of us? You speaking to somebody who I always admire, sir, and what is discipline to this gentleman where he ended up, or where he still is, or where he's going.
And you're talking about Tosh, Irvin Tosh Williams.
I always saw this gentleman as a disciplined person, and I always respected him, even if he's not really older than I am. I'm just putting it that way. But you could see the discipline in him, how he carried himself. his behavior, how he spoke to people. So there is no reason why this man would not, go as far as he wanted to go. And Wadix, again, you continue to highlight your people, lift up your people. Wadix, kudos to you. And kudos to this gentleman before me who played a part in dragging us along with them, bringing us along with them, because Wadix, not many of them you used to hear finding themselves in problems. These guys were true Dominicans who exhibited a high level of discipline, all kupushu. I mean, you will always get a little fight, make a push around in games, but when it comes to the level that these guys displayed, what if I can tell you, I truly admire it. I follow a number of them. I played soccer, I played cricket, and I just want to thank these guys for the leadership that they, displayed, and they really helped a few of us to perform, because we used to, as I said the last time, we used to call ourselves their name. We used to use their name when we played the sports that the particular sports we played. So again, this gentleman there, I'm not going to even call his name. I'm just going to tell him, I always respect him. And kudos to you, sir. Kudos to you.
And that's Irvin Tosh Williams there from Eustace Marshall in St. Thomas. Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you, man.
Yes, Jimbo, how many years you represented Dominica? Can you recall?
We were around 30.
About 30 years. But seriously, about how many years you actually, represented?
I never really checked that, no?
But at least over 10. What about you, Tosh? Can you recall?
Yeah, I played 12 consecutive years.
Wow.
I started, there were 1 or 2 years probably from my grammar school, because at grammar school, I was called on the national team. And at that time, a very small, you hardly had young players playing on the national team. And I remember when I was called on the team, it was a big thing at the grammar school. It was announced in assembly, and maybe certain of the things I didn't probably. I didn't like yes, I didn't like those things when my name had to be called.
The popularity, you didn't like the popularity of it?
Yeah, but I think probably, I don't know, it's just myself. I mean, I played a lot of basketball and I used to score points. And they always used to say it on the radio, who score how many points. And that's the time I don't want people to see me. Yeah, because everybody has to be telling you, oh, they heard this, they heard that, you did well, and maybe compliment you.
So what makes sense to make one little point there?
Yeah.
Like Pembo is a man I respect.
Yeah.
Patrick
Pemberton, yeah.
Nice.
Played for Cardinals.
I have two great fellas there with me. But I captain them. Okay?
You captain Tosh
and Bedu.
You captain the both of them.
Yeah.
That's true, Tosh. I mean
well, I was the captain of the Dominica team on my for 4 years.
And after you handed over, you handed over to Jimbo. Yes. So Bedo, in the twilight days, Jimbo captained you.
What am I doing all this?
But Tosh, I mean, what was it like? It's very important for us to know, especially now when we listen to what's happening on the various national teams. When you guys wore that national color, you're representing the natural. How it felt then? Let's go with Bedo. You're on the team, whether you are just part of the team, but you are going out there to represent your country. How it felt?
It was always an honor. I used to feel good. Once I put them colors on me, in my days, it was blue and gold.
Blue and gold.
Yeah.
Let's take in a few more calls. So, the legends. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat. We'll come back to Bedo in a while. Good morning.
Leroy Wadico Swiftly Stocking Charles. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning to you, sir, from South Florida.
And good morning to all the legends. Thanks for service to country and congratulations to all your accomplishments. My question is, all right, when I was younger, I was working at DCP, and Mr. Patrick Pemberton was my boss. And no matter what people say about it, that's one person I could talk to anytime, anywhere. Some people have wrong conception of this. Talk to him, and even now. And all you guys were playing against one of the Caribbean islands, and all you lose. So I questioned him. I said, Pembo, what's going on? Why? How comes all you lose? And he said, I tried to impress. He was, I think, it was either the coach or the manager, something like that. And he said, I tried to impress on these guys to rebound the ball, rebound. And what he was trying to tell me that rebound is one of the most critical open components in the game if you really want to win. What do you guys think about that? Thank you. I'm listening.
Bedu, that's your area. Thank you very much, caller.
Rebounding is the key factor of basketball.
Yes, especially in defense.
In defense. And if you can't control your bodies, you will always lose. So that's one of the...
Okay.
And he was right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat, for the legends. Good morning.
Morning, Wadi. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay, praise God. And what about you?
Man, I'm good, man. Just give me the strength to walk the street today, so I have to take the rest from there. I don't need nothing else. I grab the bull by the horn today.
Absolutely, my friend.
The reason I call, right? I've been trying to get you from the time you start recognizing the grace of Dominica Wadi, and I don't think you hear this enough. And we as a people don't recognize these things enough. What you are doing, you are building on what these gentlemen contributed and bringing it out to young people to recognize where the country has been in its heydays in sports and the greatness of this country in the region and on a global scale. Now, the reason I say that, Wadi, you had the footballers a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Now you have the basketball players. And what I must say, it's a great thing you're doing to bring the history of Dominica in the present. And I'm sure the guys who you bring on the show will appreciate that, and they would really like to come and let the youth know where Dominica has been. Dominica is not a little child thing in when them days of these guys playing ball. I mean, not volleyball, but I mean netball, all these things. You have to find some of the netball players back in the day who were pretty good too. What is the reason I say that? You compare the football players a few weeks back to man like Messi and them kind of guys, and that tells you the greatness of the gentleman who played football, basketball, and all this other sports. And when you have that level of professionalism, that means we were on a good trajectory. And somewhere along the way, through our bad governance and our not caring for people who have paved the way for us, we lose our history and then we come like dog in a gutter. And I want to say thanks to you, Wadi, for doing that. But before I go, my brother, when you compare our great men to some guys who doing what they do now and getting paid like Maradona and Messi, you don't have to say they're the Maradona of Dominica. You could just put them right there with them guys because they were doing what them great guys are doing now. They have been done there. They were there before. They just never had avenues and opportunities to do what they do. But I'm going out, my brother, to say thank you for doing what you do to keeping Dominica history alive. Great man, Wadi.
Yeah,
thank you, and thanks to the guys in studio. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. I was fortunate to have seen these guys play. Let's take this caller before I actually respond. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat for the legends.
Hello, morning, Wadi.
Good morning to you, my dear.
And morning to the legends.
Yes.
Wadi, so you know what I want to, you know what I noticed, and I want the legends to say something on that. Our basketballers know. I was just too little bit. What I noticed, everybody wants to score 3-pointer. You understand? But to me, you have to practice to shoot that 3-pointer, to curry. So you have to take your time. But to me, everybody want to score a 3-pointer. What do you think about that?
Jimbo, Tosh.
Yeah, well, I mean, in sports, right? In fact, in basketball, you spoke of 3-pointers. I mean, you have to maybe shoot to score. And what I think is you have to train. If you're a 3-point shooters, because nowadays we knew who were the sharpshooters and who should be shooting from beyond the arc. And we know who are the good ones under the boards who we have to feed. So, I mean, it's training. And if you do not train, you wouldn't be able to perform. And sometimes it's a natural thing in some of the shooters. But it can be natural, but you still have to to do the training so that you can get it going.
Jimbo, I know you want to add something to that.
That new generation, I don't think Goodwill Court just there. Nothing happening. That generation don't do basketball no. You have veterans coming and play there and they cut bottles that only cut breaking me. Rubbish, all magic. Nobody want to look at those young fellas. They're interested in that.
Guys, more calls for the legends here on the big station. It's Creole Heartbeat. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Wadis, and good morning to the men you have in the studio.
Yes, we have Fanso Bedu, we have Tosh, and we have Jimbo.
Yes, especially on the Cardinals side.
Cardinals is Tosh.
Yes, I know that. What I call to tell you, today's International Women's Day, and we have a lot of women, good women that were in sports.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, we have some like netballers.
Yes.
And, some of them are dead, but you still have some living.
Yes.
So I thought you would maybe have that today instead of having women. No offense, men. Bye-bye.
Happy International Women's Day, by the way, to all women. But yes, indeed, we had. I feel so, Dominica was at one point the strongest in the Caribbean when we had people like Alma John and Dorothy Charles and
Dixon.
Yes, during those days, I think Heavy Shillingford was the coach then. And it would be good to hear from who are living presently because Dominica was. And we know, yes, because in the same way we won several championships. I wanted to make that point. You guys were on a particular level we were winning. Dominica had a supreme record around the region in terms of sports. But it didn't just come. It came with quite a bit of work behind the scenes, quite a bit of preparation. And like Jimbo just said a while ago, those days, more avenues, possibly more money to be made, more schools, more recruitment programs are on, but yet still the interest, the commitment, the playing for country, the playing for pride. When you put on that Cicero jersey, it is not there like before. I mean, it's a sad state, but I mean that's reality based on the results that we are presently getting. We are getting miserable. I can't recall in football when Dominica we're getting 8 and 5, and and that's what's happening. That's what's happening.
No, I want to make a point. When I first make Dominica team, it was on a big stand when Pembo tell me like, "No, Jimbo, you selected and thing." But I was so sick. I crossed river. I hope, and I told my sisters that I said, "Boy, I'm representing Dominica." They say, "What?" So Margaret, she died. So rest in peace. She said, "But
that's Colton T. mother.
The hard work you do. That's why Pembo called you." And remember, I was maybe the youngest at the time.
But then that was the kind of determination. Sure. It was a big thing to represent Dominica. Yeah, I mean, Tosh and Bedu.
When you look at that today, we Cardinals went to St. Lucia, and we means with all things in St. Lucia. Then they organized a tournament. We went and we go back to St. Lucia to play. And because we're dominating, St. Lucia support Green Leader against us. I can never forget that day. And then we beat St. Lucia 135 playing 35. I can never forget that.
135 to 35.
And today, Dominica cannot beat St. Lucia.
Wow.
So we had to ask ourselves, what happened?
Was the loss of the Windsor Park at some point in time had a major effect on basketball?
You think so? I don't think so.
I mean, first of all, it was kind of because remember, basketball in the Windsor Park was a daily thing. It would be football on one end, and right after football, basketball every single
volleyball,
volleyball, netball.
But let me tell you, like when I started playing basketball, it was in the SMA, in the grammar school. Yeah, we used to go and play, right? So then, well, I helped to build the Windsor Park court. As a matter of fact, Plastic, myself, Bradley, Hector, we built the Windsor Park court. So it was really true when they removed the court in Windsor Park, it was a loss. Because a lot of the young kids was getting nowhere to practice.
One of the things I felt that was very critical, for instance, in Tosh Tosh had the legends before him, and then he could also nurture the guys that were coming after him,
Like me.
the Bryans, the Jimbos. And that was one of the things that, I felt that was lacking when Windsor Park was, not available for that. Because Windsor Park wasn't only the place to play sports. You would go and hang out, you'd go and talk, you'd have conversations with the older guys, the legends. You'd be cooling out, relaxing, but you're listening to stories of these guys, which would motivate you to want to be like them.
And what happened is, with the Windsor Park now, there's plenty more togetherness.
Yes.
Because I wasn't playing for Cardinals, but everything Cardinals I was involved in it, even today.
Mm-hmm.
Everything Cardinals I was part and parcel of it. Like Jimbo and myself would be doing a conversation. There's something else.
On the court, you had a rivalry.
And off the court.
But off the court, you all were friends.
Togetherness.
Yeah, so now I have to bring that up. We had a big finals against St. Kitts. We had to beat them by 24. So I came down with a flu. So I say, I want to see Dr. Paul, to help me out before the game. Book the doctor there.
So local doctor.
So he take me out on the park.
Mm.
And he brought me where I live in that area, and he called me a class or something. And he give to me. Tell me, Jimbo, I go wake you up. He was on the team, I think. Then I started leaping.
What was that made of? A local.
I go back to the old people.
Yes.
And give a little rum with some garlic syrup and things and some whoosh.
You cry when they see me come back.
So it helped him.
Mm-hmm. But guys, just before we leave, we have to break for the news in a while. Yeah. If you have any advice, you would have to have any advice for the young people or the young aspiring basketballers, or even the association, as to what we can do to elevate the standard, to bring our record back up to where it used to be. What would that be? Let's go with Jimbo first, and we'll end with Tosh.
Well, I see the goodwill got abandoned. I have to put something together.
Mm-hmm.
Through the whole system I go through.
Mm-hmm.
And they had brought me into basketball, bring me as a Dominica player, OECS, Windward Island, and whatever. Mm-hmm. So I working on that.
You played for the Windward Islands?
Well,
or you played in the Windward Island tournaments?
Not Windward Island. Did not Windward.
Okay. What would be a recommendation, let's say, for young aspiring basketballers, and even for the association?
Well, I think you have to go back and teach your kids the basics of basketball. Because without that, the kids not going to go anywhere. And that's my main concept. Teach them the basics.
Do we miss a plastic influence presently?
I think the association are not utilizing plastic enough. Mm-hmm. Because like everybody just ignoring him. Mm-hmm. And that I don't like. Because he make us, all three of us, and I think he can make much more because he have a lot in him still.
Mm. What about you, Tosh? What do you think if you would have to recommend for, let's say, aspiring basketballers and even the association?
Yeah, well, I would think there are number of competitions, maybe even in the school, because I hear of it on the radio. We have schools of basketball. But I think they need to take it a little more serious. The schools need to take it very serious, because you can have a national schools competition and you have only 4 schools or 5 schools taking part. They need to get on board. I think our players need to be self-motivated. I mean, there are a number of things to motivate yourself, because you look at sports on TV and you see it level of sports that are taking place and the players, what they are doing. And you ask yourself, man, see the type of players. Because I support Chelsea. I'm disappointed in the kind of millions some of the players are making, and their performance is just not there. So we have a lot of things to motivate ourselves, where our young people can come into the game and do a lot of training, do a lot of practice. I think self-motivation is it. I mean, the organizers have to organize more of the competitions for the players. And I mean, right now we have something we have to just stick on board. We just have to look at, like in cricket, let's look at Shamar Joseph, what happened with him. Mm-hmm. And in any sport, a player can just, by self-motivation, come out and be good.
Guys, I want to really thank you for the opportunity to actually tell the world your story and the service that you have rendered for Dominica. And we felt it important to bring you there to make sure that the rest of the world know that you represented Dominica with a level of commitment, pride, dignity, and brought Dominica's name far and wide, won championships. So we want to thank you on behalf of all Dominicans living home and even overseas for the work, the service, for what you have done to entertain us throughout the years. Thank you, gentlemen, and may God bless you and may God bless this country. Thanks for coming here today.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Yeah.
another Creole
All the
Heartbeat
best.
program on the big station. The News Major comes up next.
Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix.